The Northern Corridor forms the backbone of transport system which links signatory member states of Burundi, Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, Rwanda, Republic of South Sudan and Uganda to the port of Mombasa. The corridor currently has high traffic flow, especially heavy commercial and long-distance passenger vehicles moving goods and people across the region. The corridor over the years has had the highest cases of road accidents, most of which can be attributed to the heavy trucks and buses. Safety on the Northern Corridor has for years become a concern for many stakeholders in the region due to the numerous challenges faced by drivers. Some drivers have for years endured the long working hours, which leads to fatigue, loss of concentration on the steering wheel and poor health, all of which are major contributors to accidents.
After doing that work, you see, for example, where you are going to rest, you must have a fatigue. You'll be fatigue. You know that. You'll be tired. So, because now you don't have a circle that maybe you can forward our grievances to them so that they can help us. Now we are forced to travel without resting.
Prostitution is also rife at truck parking areas, a situation which is compounded by extreme poverty in many of the surrounding communities.
This has become very challenging because the business that has been there and the drivers have died, and therefore there is a gap. And yet there is new business incremental that is increasing. Because of the county governments that have come up, we have quite a number of, in Kenya, we have quite a number of county governments between Mombasa and Malaba. And again, what is happening is each county government is looking for ways of sustaining itself.
Safeway Right Way is rooted in the principle that road accidents are preventable and that road safety is the responsibility of all road users.
We've been using a partner called North Star Alliance. They have a roadside station, a very small one, which we've been using in the past. Okay, the driver, before he leaves Mombasa for Katuna, wherever he's going to, he has to go through a medical check in this facility. RSS is going to make it better because there'll be a much bigger facility with many more things that we can use in there.
According to the National Transport and Safety Authority statistics of 2014, heavy commercial vehicles contributed 15% of the total fatal crashes. During the same year, statistics show that the highest number of fatal crashes occurred in counties, towns and business centers along the Northern Corridor Highway. Most of the accidents by the heavy commercial vehicles along the Northern Corridor Highway have been associated and attributed to human error and in particular driver fatigue that lead to driver distraction.
Because today there is no space that is being provided for these truckers to park and rest. They park by the roadside, endangering other road users. So when you have a specific place designated as the these stations, it becomes useful because they are off the road and they are properly secured, and it means that the rest of the motorists can move along.
It's in this breath that Northern Corridor member states, in their pursuit of facilitating trade and transport to make the Northern Corridor a smart corridor, instructed the Northern Corridor Transit and Transport Coordination Authority to design and implement a project aimed at establishing roadside stations along the Northern Corridor to reduce on the rampant road accidents caused by fatigue.
A roadside station is a rest stop for road users, and also it's a parking, allowing the use of the corridor to rest, to take some breath along the corridor when they are traveling, or also handling or undertaking other additional activity along the corridor.
The government of Kenya has already gone ahead to set up a framework for investment in roadside stations.
What we like to see ideally is to see a cluster of services. If you look at the design, going up to about 19 different services. The most obvious ones would be, for example, to have restaurants, restrooms, petrol station, having a place where the trucks can be parked and cleaned up. and even going further, having hotels, small hotels, where the passengers or the truck drivers can spend the night. And with that, I think both passengers, you get the services. You also use the services like banks, for example. You may have ATMs where passengers and truck drivers can withdraw cash. So it is a cluster of services. And you can have 3 different designs. The first design, you can have up to 19 services. The next level of design, you can have about 13 different services. And the final one, you can have about 11 different services.
Very recently, JICA has started the Master Plan Development Study on logistics in Northern Economic Corridor, and it will cover Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi as well, and also the sub-route to South Sudan and DRC Congo.
The first objective is to have the Mombasa port as a landlord port by 2016. The second objective is to increase the truck turnaround from 70,000 kilometers per annum per truck to 120,000 kilometers per annum per truck. And that is the objective that the NCTTCA is working with us in achieving.
The corridor starts in Mombasa. And so we have identified, for example, Sultan Hamud, which is near Mombasa, to set up the first station. And what we've done is to create a joint task force, which basically involves a number of agencies and departments within the government.
On that note, I would urge prospective investors to really invest, and I think in my own opinion this would be a business case and a good initiative from the regional governments, and we call upon again the regional investors from the East African countries to make sure that they come and invest in these facilities.
And we think that what you are doing here, we are targeting the regional investor, how they can invest in this facility and to generate additional income, and also to transform this region. If we need to transform this region, we need to do it ourselves, using the means we have, the resources we have in the region, and also how we can also embark the region, the rest of the region, the interland, in the work we are doing. We are no longer looking at the road just carrying goods along the corridor, but how we link this road with the rest of the region. And this one will help in order to integrate this region, to improve the intra-regional trade, and also to alleviate the poverty within the Northern Corridor region.
Kenya, Burundi, DRC, and Rwanda.